6-1 Warriors are on pace to win 78 games this season, which of course would easily surpass the 95-96 Bulls record of 72 wins. Well, Charles Barkley was on ESPN Radio's Waddle and Sylvie show yesterday and was asked if the Golden State team could beat the record-setting Bulls. Take a listen.
Oh, man, you kidding me, right? That Bulls team will kill this little team.
Right.
Come on, man. Who's going to guard Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan? What about Dennis Rodman? Come on, man.
I just
Listen,
think
I know we live in the moment. First of all, let me tell you something. These guys ain't won a championship yet. I still like the Spurs, to be honest with you.
Wow.
I do. I still like the Spurs to win the championship this year. I'm telling you, don't just because these guys are beating up on inferior competition, don't overreact now.
Music to this man's ears. Stephen A., do you agree with Barkley?
Yeah, but not in the sense that he's doing it because he's right. But it's not like I don't think Golden State will win a game or something. I think when you shoot that well, you always have a puncher's chance. I would pick the Bulls, however, to win that series in 5 games. And Skip, it's nothing to even belabor. It's this simple. Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen would guard Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Dennis Rodman, whether it's Draymond Green or somebody else, it doesn't matter. Those three fixtures on the defensive side of the ball closes the deal. There's nothing to discuss. There's no way that Steph Curry would be shooting 52% from the field and 45% from three-point range against Michael Jordan or Scottie Pippen. There's no way as great and as quick of a release as Klay Thompson has. There's no way that would be going on against those guys. Now, the rules of today's game could impact Golden State in a positive way where they can make a series out of it if guys had to play by today's rule. No hand checking, no elbows to the back, no hard fouls or whatever the case may be. Even though Jordan and Pippen didn't really play like that, they could lock you down. And Scottie Pippen's length could disrupt everything that you want to do as an offense, which is why ultimately the Bulls would prevail. But make no mistake, it's not even about the offense. Barkley talked about stopping them. Well, that's true. But it's really about the fact that Pippen and Jordan could defend anyone. Anyone. And that is the difference. I'm not saying Steph Curry and Klay wouldn't get theirs, but they wouldn't be as prolific as they are against today's competition. It would not happen. The Bulls would probably win in 5, in all likelihood. Possibility of 6, but more than likely they'd win in 5 games.
I agree with you and then some. For once, I underline for once, I actually agree with something Charles Barkley said. Though it does give me pause when he's picking my Spurs to win this year's championship, just scares me a little bit. But do appreciate that, Charles. Now back to the premise. I believe in a 7-game series, Michael's team would sweep this team. You could be right, they could win a game, but it would take crazy hot 3-point shooting from the Splash Brothers to win a game at Oracle against Michael's 95-96
Which
Bulls.
they're fully capable of doing.
They're capable, but I don't think it would happen because I think Michael Jordan would say no. He would take it as such a challenge to win 4 straight games. I believe he and his crew could win 4 straight. I covered the 97-98 Bulls, and game after game, night after night, I watched the threesome of Jordan, Pippen, and you remember Ron Harper, Stephen A. They were all so long, so quick, so tenacious that most teams had a hard time getting the ball past half court against that threesome spread like a zone defense across the half court line. It's beyond comprehension how they could suffocate anybody with the ball in his hands. And as great as Steph is with his handle, as good as Klay Thompson is, they would struggle to get their shots off against those 3. And then Dennis Rodman, who averaged 15 rebounds a game, would give Draymond all he wanted. And I love Draymond. I love his versatility as the sort of the point center of this team. But I'm sorry that they are small compared to a team that can throw in Rodman. And then you remember, Stephen A., they can go with Luke Longley. They can go with Bill Winnington. They're all the equivalent of an Andrew Bogut. They even had John Sally, James Edwards on that team. They had lots of height and length that they could throw at a too small Golden State team that loves to play small and would have such a hard time against a team that even has. Remember, people forget Tony Kukoc. You remember Tony Kukoc?
I was getting ready to bring him up.
6 feet 10 inches tall and shot 40% from the three-point line that whole year. By the way, Michael shot 43% from three, and Steve Kerr,
yes, he did.
the coach, shot 52% from three this year. So they can hurt you from deep also when they need to. But Michael averaged 30 points a game, and he would get 30 a night against this team. They just would, I don't know, Clay could try to defend him, Harrison Barnes could try to defend him, and they would get punished. I'm sorry, he's Michael Jeffrey Jordan. And with all this crew that we just detailed, I just think they could win 4 in a row against the two small Golden State Warriors who are highly dependent upon hot hands from long distance.
Well, here's what I would say to you. Here's what you need to think about, Skip. When you think about these Golden State Warriors and the hype that they have received, all valid, all deserving, based on what we saw from them this year.
Sure.
Although it's not the same identically, compare that to when Jordan and those boys went up against the Orlando Magic in the conference finals, just a year removed from getting knocked off by the Orlando Magic in the semis when Jordan came out of retirement, still a little bit rusty, came out of retirement, 17 games left in the regular season, went against Nick Anderson, Dennis Scott, Penny Hardaway, Shaq and those boys, and they lost. And Jordan wasn't himself, relatively inconsistent in the semis. They celebrated whatever. Jordan went into the locker room after. He looked at the fellas, said, y'all got 2 weeks vacation. Get back here and work out. And they were working out with one another before the finals practically, before the finals practically began. That's how focused they were on the next season.
That's
the
my
next
point.
season comes. And it's Jordan, it's Pippen, it's Rodman, it's Tony Kukoc, it's Steve Kerr and those boys, it's Ron Harper. And they were so locked in, so zeroed in. I mean, what they did to Shaq, and I shouldn't say Shaq because he did his thing, couldn't hit free throws, but he did his thing. But Penny Hardaway and those boys, I mean, Jordan literally snatched their hearts out of their chest. We still haven't seen Nick Anderson other than seeing him as a spectator at games after that. And I love Nick Anderson.
So do
but
I.
my God, what Jordan and them should actually be arrested for what they did to Nick Anderson and those boys in that particular series. They swept them. They blew them out the building from game one. And what I'm saying is, this is comparable because there's so much noise being made about Golden State that the makeup of this 95-96 Bulls team would have taken it so personally that that's the extra something. Steph Curry, you ain't never seen anybody like him. And he would have caused Jordan and them some problems because of his handle. The problem is Pippen would have been able to stay with him. And he would have had to shoot over Pippen all series long. And you can't tell me he's going to shoot 52% from the field or 45% from three-point range against Pippen. And Jordan or Ron Harper were capable of guarding Klay Thompson. So because of that is why I say, I'm going to show Golden State its respect and not associate the word sweet with them, just like I did with Iverson against the Lakers when I said AI going to get you one. I'm thinking Steph and the Splash brother, Klay Thompson, they're going to get you one. I'm going to show them that respect. But ain't no way in hell they were going to win this series.
Skip's taking out the broom.
The Bulls would have taken them out in 5. Would have taken them out in 5. I'd say 5. I'm going to show them that respect. I'd say 5.
I'm not going to show them that much respect. All I can say is today's Warriors are lucky this will never happen, that it's all hypothetical, because I think they would get embarrassed. That's just me.
Even with today's rules? Even with today's
Even
rules?
with today's rules.
All right.
Yep.
I think today's rules give them one game, Skip. I think it gives them one game.
Or they'd have to bomb away from 32 feet away.
Yeah, and they can.
Yeah.
And they can. They
right.
can.
Let's-
I'd give them one game.
Let's leave it there. And as Skip says, he's sweeping it. I bet Coach Sumlin misses this guy, the good old days with Johnny Football. Less than 2 weeks, 2 quarterback departures. Why? We'll discuss when we return.